So out of my pocket immediately, $253 for a hotel, $200 additional for the tow. And then they were talking about $1,400 that I had to prepay just to even put the work order in. So you can see where this is going, right? So all of that was just a nightmare. To keep this from being a very long video, I am home. This is the future. And I had a whole full experience, and if you haven't seen the video before, I don't want to make this a long video by explaining all of that, but this is actually part 2 of my little stranded fiasco that I had in Alabama. They ended up getting my car towed to the Volkswagen dealership, and that took a lot, but nobody would fix my vehicle. Nobody could fix my vehicle except for the dealership. So as soon as I get to the dealership, they tell me first up that more than likely it was the tumbler for the key ignition, and in order to get that fixed, they would have to order the part, and the part would come from either Mexico or Germany. See, that's the thing about foreign cars. I can't stand having a foreign car when maintenance comes to to be a problem. So they told me that I had to prepay for the tumbler ignition. Why? Because for my vehicle, it's a 2009 Volkswagen Jetta. When you send off for the parts, they actually make the part according to the VIN number of your vehicle. It is not something that's sitting in stock, and they have to make it specific for that vehicle. And it was going to take 3 weeks to a month minimum. It could take up to 2 months. So you're talking 2 months without my vehicle, and that was just ridiculous. And the cost was going to be $1,400. Now, I bought this car back in 2000 during the pandemic, and I only paid $4,000. So that was just nonsense to me. And just to have my vehicle for that long, I would be stuck. For one, I would be stuck in at that point I was in Columbus, Georgia. I hadn't made it to Atlanta. It cost me $200 to have my car towed from Alabama to Columbus, Georgia, because my insurance only covered 15 miles and it was a 30-mile ride. So out of my pocket immediately, $253 for a hotel, $200 additional for the tow. And then they were talking about $1,400 that I had to prepay just to even put the work order in. So you can see where this is going, right? So all of that was just a nightmare in general. They had me signing a waiver for my car to even get on the tow because they couldn't put it in neutral, and therefore there was always the possibility of the transmission being messed up by them putting it onto the tow because they couldn't do it in neutral. So I didn't want to sign it, but after calling my family member, it was like, you're going to have to get it towed. So what do you do? So yeah, all of that happened. But sitting in there in that place, contemplating how I was going to do this, it just came to a realization that I need another car. And I called my daughter and asked her to come and get me from Columbus, Georgia, because I wasn't going to be able to take the vehicle back because they was going to keep it for so long just to get it fixed. I called her. She's on her way. It was about an hour and a half drive for her to come and get me. And while I'm waiting for her, something just clicked. And I asked if they would allow me to trade that vehicle in and get another vehicle, but not a foreign vehicle. So I was at AutoNation Volkswagen, and that means they have other cars there besides Volkswagen. So that's what I did, and I went on to look for a vehicle, and I told them that I didn't want to pay nothing down. I wanted to just use my trade-in, and I told them what my payments had to be, because I definitely had to get a vehicle with payments, because the time that it would take for me to save up enough money to get another vehicle would have been too long, and I was just over it. I was just over it. And for that reason, I said that I wanted to get a van or a SUV anyway, and so let's take a look at what I got. So I brought my vehicle here to get fixed, and I am leaving this place with this. I have been years without having a car payment, even before I bought the one that I just got rid of. And to me, it wasn't ideal to start over with a car payment. But one thing that I figured that I would really truly need is a vehicle that had a warranty, as well as just coverage for all the things that would happen if I were to break down somewhere again. I've learned a lot of lessons as a result of this little fiasco. But I was blessed to get exactly what I wanted, as well as the affordability of it in general. And but I realized that whenever you are traveling, I don't care whether you're just regular everyday going to work, or you're traveling out of town, or you're car camping, you are not going to get away from vehicle issues, vehicle maintenance, breakdowns, hiccups, all of that. So even though it was a very stressful situation for me, there was nothing that I could do but roll with the wave. And so I rolled with the wave, and I got home. It took me until about 9:30 I got home 9:30 on Friday. And I hate driving at night, but I was so tired. That day was so exhausting. I had lost my appetite and I was stressed out. My head was hurting, and I was just ready to be home. So I drove the new vehicle home, and and that's how this story ends. So I know that there is a whole lot of pieces and parts that I didn't really go through, and it's not necessary to I don't want to make this a long video. And people can give you advice and tell you what you shoulda, coulda, woulda did, but that's a null and void. It's really not needed, because it is what it is. This is how it turned out for me, and I couldn't have done that any other way, especially for where I was. I think if I was at home and broke down, I don't know if I would have went through with getting a new vehicle at that time. I may have waited, because I wouldn't have had to go through all of that. I could have just had my car towed back to my house and figured out what I wanted to do with it. But being out of state, sometimes you make decisions and you can't know the outcome of the decision that you're going to make. So why even try to guess what's going to happen? Sometimes, and I'm not really good at just making quick, fast decisions, but something in my spirit was just telling me to do exactly what I did, and I feel good about it. I don't always feel so good about certain decisions that I make, but this one I felt nothing nervous. There was nothing nervous in my body or in my spirit when I made every decision that I made, except for having to sign a waiver to tow my car. Because I didn't know what the outcome was going to be with that. So that was the only thing that kind of gave me pause. But I'm happy at the outcome. And I'm curious, have you ever had a breakdown? I know somebody left a comment on my last video about a situation that she had with her vehicle in a campsite. So, lady, I feel you on that one. I feel you on that one. And I don't think that I was really considering things like that. I did to a point where I have a battery jumper, and I have a air pump. I have those type of things. I have jumper cables. I have all of that kind of stuff for emergencies. But who's thinking that your car won't start? Like, I couldn't have predicted that one. I get used to peeping out my vehicle in the parking lot. I was actually looking for my other vehicle. I'm like, where's my car? I would love it if you would decide to subscribe. I do a lot of explorations, and this is just the first one that went really, really bad. I hope you tune in and subscribe to my channel. Like, comment, engage with me in the comments. And yeah, come back for more. There is more, plenty more of explorations, not this drama. So in the meantime, everyone, good mental health, good spiritual health, and as always, good physical health. Y'all take great care.